Hello everyone. So today we are going to look at how to work with GitHub account. So for this you need two aspects. So one is you should have a GitHub account as I shown in here. So you need to set up your GitHub account by giving the username, email address and the password. The next thing is you should have a Git bash application installed into your computer. So you can go to this site and depending on your operating system you can download the required application. So I already have my own GitHub account, so I'll sign it in here, and once you sign it there you will see an interface or a dashboard which is showing about your activities. So from here I'm going to first create a repository. So once you click the new button, it will allows you to create a new repository. So I'll set this as git code repo. So it will be checking whether this name can be taken, and if that's so, then there will be a green color, a tick mark will appear, and then it will ask, so do you want to make it public or private? So when it's come to public, what happens, your code will be open for anyone who's available in this platform. If you don't like to do that, so you can make it as private, so then the code will be available in the GitHub but it will not going to show in public. So it will be open for people who have you have given the access to access this code base. So I will make it public and then I will click on create repository. So then what happens, GitHub will create a repository on my account and then maintain it in this maintain in here. So in the second step, as I told you, I want you to download this code, this application, and then once you install this application, then we can communicate to the GitHub account and send our existing code in our local computer to the GitHub account. So I have already downloaded this application and it's available in my computer. So the next thing is I'm going to set up a folder here. So as you can see, I have a folder called Git, and here I will create another subfolder called HTML. So in this place I'm going to place a readme file and a HTML file, assuming that this is my project. So I'll open my Visual Studio Code and then go to file, open file, new file, and I'm going to save this inside the Git HTML. So for this one I'll name it as readme.txt, where you can have some information about your application. So I'll make it blank, and then I'll have another file which is a web page. So I'll name it this as index.html, and then I'm going to put the basic HTML structure, and then put a heading saying I first go to GitHub and I save this file. So now you can see the two files are available in this HTML folder. So this is the file what I want to send into the Git code repository. So the next step is we are going to set up a Git tracking folder in our local working directory. So for that, once you right click on the place where you want to set up the Git tracking directory, you will see that there's an option to open Git bash here. So once it open, you can see that this application currently opening in this location where your HTML directory is already available. So in here I'm going to first initialize a Git tracking folder. For that I need to type a command git init. So you can see it says initialize an empty Git repository in this location. So there's a new folder implemented. You can see here it's showing as a hidden folder. So if you want to see this, you want to enable hidden folder visibility in your operating system. So in this folder, this Git application will track all your code changes, modification, or if you're adding new files. So all these are going to be tracked in this folder. Then once you initialize this, I can type Git Status. This is very useful command because every time if you are not sure about whether your files are tracking or if there are any new files that you want to push to the GitHub repository, you need to type this Git Status. So it will say the current status of your code. So in here I can see there are two files available in red color which is saying untracked files. So that means Git is not ready yet to track these files. So that means I have to set this into the tracking level. For that I can use Git Add. Since I need the both files to be added, that means all the two files in my repository, I will put the dot. If you don't like to add all the files, what you can do is you can simply inform to the Git Add by giving the specific file name. So then only that file will be put it to the tracking level. So in this example we are going to look at making all the files track. So then I will put add dot, so then it will be track all the available untracked files. Then you can see I have done some changes. So now I want to make it as a bundle and then send into the Git repository. For that I'll use this command git -m. So it's basically you are giving a commit message for your bundle. So I'll say this is initial files to Git repo. So now I am ready to push my code to the Git repository. So if you go into our repository that we created right now, so you can see there are quick setup guideline available. So there are three types of setup guideline they provide. One is called create a new repository on the command line, or push an existing repository from the command line, or import code from another repository. So in our case, this is what we need to do. So you have existing code repository that need to be pushed to our GitHub repository. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this first command and paste in here. So it says git remote add origin, and then it's giving a link to our repository which is available in the GitHub. So it's very simple message we are providing. We ask to add this link with the alias name origin to our git bash application. So later on, if I want to work with this repository, I can simply refer the origin word, then our application knows this origin word is refers to this location. So that is what we are going to do initially. So I have done adding the origin to my repository. So then after this, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the second command, which is saying git push dash u origin master. So here what we are going to do is we are going to forcefully create a new repository, so the new branch in our existing repository, that is git code repo, with this name called master branch. So I will copy this and paste. Right. So before that, I want you to show you that since I have already working with this code before, my credentials to connect with the GitHub already save in my operating system. So if you go to credential manager, you will able to see that under generic credential, my GitHub login credentials are already saved. So if you are doing it for the first time, we don't have this saved. So since I am already working with this GitHub, so I may not get some of the issues that you face when you are going to do it for the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this credentials. So then I'm also working as a new GitHub account owner. So then what I'm trying to push my code. So now it's tracking is done, and I have give a commit message to my bundle, and I'm going to push this committed code to my git repo. Under that I am going to create a branch called master. So now you can see I am getting a login interface to the GitHub. So here you can use the username or email address. So I am using my username and the password, and set login. So now using those credentials, my Git bash application will connect with the GitHub account, and then it will send all my files into the new branch called master. So if you go back to your repository and reload the page, you will able to see now that my branch has name as master, and there's no any other branch available right now. We'll look at the branch concept later. And you can see I have set all the 2 files in my Git repository. So likewise, when you are working with your local code, it's better to have repeatedly push your code to the Git repository. Right. So I'm going to do the second commit by creating another file. So I'll save this as product.html. And save this file. So now you can see I have done modification to my code repository. So if I type Git Status, now it shows me, yes, I am having a one untracked file. So that is the product.html file. So if I want to track this, again we have to execute the same procedure. So as we done previously, first what we need to do is I should use Git Add. You can put the dot to say all the file, or else you can name the file that you want to add. Since I am having only one file here, I can simply type the file that I want to add. Then I'll put git commit -m and put a message here. And now I want to push my final commit bundle to the Git hub. So I'll put git push. So in the first step, you can see I use the git push -u origin master. So you don't need to type this again and again, because this is the first time you are going to create a branch in the Git hub repository. So because of that, we need this command to say that you are going to create a new branch and then push this code. So once you've done this, then you don't need to again ask to create a new branch in this repository. You can simply say git push. It will push your code to the branch where you already created. So if you go back and refresh the page, so you can see that the product.html file also push it to our repository. Right. So we're going to stop from here, and we'll look at some of the other settings in later video tutorials.